Hey YouTube, what's going on? Thanks for coming to my channel. This is the first of 6 videos that I want to make about financial bad habits that I realized I needed to change in order to become financially independent. First, click that subscribe button and hit that like if you like this video to want to see more. It really helps me, and I really want to make more of these videos in order to do more and to help you with all your financial journey. Okay folks, so habit number 1 is the concept of paying yourself first. Paying yourself first means taking advantage of any form of pre-tax savings that you can participate in, and then flipping the concept of discretionary expenses to now becoming a second priority. So how do I mean that? Well, you're always going to have some form of expenses. You're going to have mandatory expenses and you're going to have discretionary expenses. Paying yourself first means you want to flip that priority with those discretionary expenses, because mandatory expenses are always going to be fixed costs. So when wealthy people think about generating wealth or generating prosperity, they always try to minimize their tax liability. Taxes always are going to be a certainty, and if you work for a company, you should always be participating in your 401k and your HSAs, any kind of pre-tax benefit, because what that ends up doing is it lowers your tax liability, which is always going to be a constant, and then at the end of the year, you're going to that tax liability obviously will go down, whereas your pre-tax investments will always go up exponentially. Now, the other thing that paying yourself first does is it sets discretionary expenses as a secondary priority, whereas in some cases, many people always think of it as a primary priority. So, for example, now that you've started to participate in your pre-tax withdrawals, obviously the amount of money that you have to work with or your budget starts to go down. So now you start to think to yourself, well, I have a lot less money. I need to start maybe not doing those things. So the discretionary expenses, you start to think about, well, I don't need that. I don't need to go do that. The things that I need to buy, I don't need to buy those anymore. So as you can see, your mindset starts to change. When I was in my 20s, I had a problem where I started to build up a lot of credit card debt because I didn't have enough money and I was not participating in my 401k plan. So that meant my take-home pay was a lot larger. And I remember doing this because I said to myself, wow, I need more money to go out. I need more money for this. Well, when I started to realize how much debt I was incurring, I said, this is not working. And then I started to read about how compounding growth worked with investments. And I said, well, this is something that you obviously learn nowadays, but at the time the information wasn't very clear to me. When I started to put more money into my 401k, and at the end of the year when I did my taxes, I realized, wow, look how much money I made, and it's all pre-tax. That started to change my mindset. And all of these bad habits are a change of mindset, or require a change of mindset. When I started to realize that when I started to take more money out, my budget started to shrink, but then my mind started to say, okay, I don't need these things, and all of a sudden my savings started to go up. That's how I ended up buying my first property. I started to say, wow, that money, I better do something with it, because now I now realize I don't have to do those things that I thought I had to do. I started to put that money into an investment vehicle with my brokerage account, and I turned that money into a significant sum to be able to purchase that first property. That's how I started to get out of that vicious loop. That's how I started to get at what Robert Kiyosaki calls the rat race. You need to be able to start increasing the amount of your asset column and reducing your liabilities column. Change your mindset. Pay yourself first. Always be able to invest in yourself and invest in any type of pre-tax vehicle. Always invest in a pre-tax vehicle. That's it for habit number 1. Stay tuned for habit number 2.